I see one cat hidden, like behind something. I see the two that were fighting on opposite ends of the room, and they kind of like come toward the kitchen. And I'm looking for our girl cat, and I can't find her. I start looking around. I can't find her anywhere. I'm like, well, let me go ahead and feed the boys. So I go back to the kitchen, to the pantry to open it up to feed them. And they start growling at each other again. Like, what the hell is y'all's problem? And again, Oreo, I lean down. I'm like, what's going on? And he hisses at me again. So I'm like, all right, well, y'all are getting separated. So we had to separate them for days, and we slowly tried to introduce them to each other again. And he was the holdout. Nobody else cared about anything. The other cats were cool with each other. They'd go up and sniff him, and every now and then he might hiss at them, but he was usually cool with the other ones. But for whatever reason, like, he did not like his brother for like 5 days.
Wild.
Sounds like stuff that real families go through as well.
Yeah,
infighting.
And of course, my reaction is like, well, he can be an outside cat.
Yeah.
And of course, that is the missus. That's her favorite. And she's like, no, he's dumb. He won't survive out there. I'm like, he's fine. He's a cat.
Yeah, I got a stupid one I want to put outside too. He's cross-eyed.
I'm like, you put food out, that they'll remember where the food is.
He won't be able to jump away from the danger, man. It's cross-eyed.
He'll jump away from.
He'll jump into danger.
It's two. It's two of them coming at him. He just has to get away from one of the two.
You imagine that cat on the Helldivers plan. He's gonna one of those Chargers will get him.
Fuck the Chargers. I'm excited to jump back in now with this change though.
Oh gosh, they've done some balancing.
I'm back in with the flamethrower. Take that fucker down.
We'll talk about it on there, but Brant, me and Russell beat the highest difficulty.
I don't know how. And, how did y'all pull that off?
Hey,
well, wait. Just wait on the show. Wait on the show.
I started playing with them. It's honestly...
It's doable.
Okay. I'm in with the squad.
We were doing some of that horde stuff with 4 people. And honestly, like, we got done with it. I'm like, that's it. And we went to the second highest, didn't we, Cesar?
Yeah.
Second highest difficulty.
I was going to do the highest with that one night until it just kept kicking you out.
It just kept... Yeah. I don't know what the hell. Every time I'd be running on the ship, and then all of a sudden everything would stop for a second, and then I'd just be back on my ship. I'm like, what the hell? So
I got kicked that night we were playing. We were trying when that rando left us. It just nutted up on all of us.
It kicked me 4 times back to back. As I just texted Cesar, I said, I guess I'm not playing tonight. I played like 2 or 3 missions with them, and then after that it didn't want me on anymore.
Yeah. They're still working out the kinks. $40 greatness. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Fire tornadoes.
$2.95.
Fire tornadoes, meteor showers.
Fire tornadoes. When is that coming?
It's already on there.
Yeah. They added inclement weather.
Oh, we have some new things to try out.
Shit. Yeah.
Tomorrow I should be. No, tomorrow's gonna be a Gears because I skipped last week.
Yep.
I mean, you're probably be busy this week with the move and stuff, right? So
I don't have enough time for anything.
Yeah, my plan was I was gonna try to help you guys, but that got ruined. But...
I also have responsibilities.
Brant's like, something came up now. My cats.
A Friday to Friday.
Oh yeah,
obligation.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I was afraid. Like, I feel like it's about to roll around, but
Yep.
It's Brant's time. Mother Nature's rolling in.
Yep. My obligation has peaked its head, so that's what I will be doing at will, whenever I get.
Whose will?
Commands.
Yeah.
God's will.
That's it. Fire tornadoes.
Yeah. Fire tornadoes.
Oh,
reenacting scenes from Twister.
Russell's trying to get us on Helldivers right now. That's my phone vibrates.
Oh no, they killed the railgun. No.
They didn't kill it. reduced.
I mean, they want you to use unsafe mode.
Yeah,
they want you to risk your life.
I always use unsafe mode. It's not that hard to watch.
I don't think I've got to the railgun yet.
I've always protected my shots, man. You never know.
No, always unsafe because it freaking that thing murders. I'm not at level 20 yet. Cesar's probably past 20 now. So
where did I leave off? 15.
Yeah, he's let me use the railgun. I think I'm up to 17 now.
You were close.
Yeah.
You were getting close.
But man, once you start playing those
content.
Once you start playing those higher levels with us, man, you level up like freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's like 250% increase on the
level and a half almost every game.
Yeah.
Shit.
I jumped like 3.5, almost 4 levels in one play session.
So you're saying always use safe mode?
Yeah, always
no, never safe.
Never safe?
Raw dog it. Never raw it.
Raw dog the railgun.
No.
Raw dogging with the railgun. That's got to be our title now. If only we were.
There was a big debate. There's a big debate at lunch. Boish wants to know if you guys chew ice cream. How do you eat your ice cream?
Chew ice
cream.
Go on,
Boish.
I don't think I think I would know if I chew ice cream because my teeth would hurt because I have sensitive teeth, so probably not.
What do? You just like suck it down?
You don't chew it. You like savor ice cream.
It's probably
you put it in your mouth. It just kind of melts.
You make it sound like I get like a huge spoonful and go like and I'm like I don't.
But this was a thing, but you spoon it into your mouth and there's still like a little bit of chewing, but you're not mashing it up like salad.
Tongue. Yeah, no.
No, the only ice cream you chew is stuff that like
chocolate.
M&M,
if
Blizzard.
if you're getting cookies and cream or a cookie dough or
you're not monsters.
You're chewing the mix-ins. You're not chewing the ice cream.
We're not savages.
You don't even chew. You don't even chew Dippin' Dots.
Barely even human. Oh, Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, you don't even chew those.
What kind of ice cream we talking about here? That astronaut ice cream?
Okay.
Is that even ice cream if you have to chew on it?
No. You can chew novelties.
Cheese.
Novelties.
Like a Flintstone bar.
Ice cream cones, the popsicles, like the banana popsicles or the rocket pops or whatever.
I haven't had
ice cream
pops since I was like
banana popsicle. We said, Brant. Oh, Brant.
What?
Playing
Brant. Semantics now.
It's a slight chew. There's a slight chew. It's just not mashing.
What about moo bars? I mean, you kind of technically chew a moo bar. So
Klondike. You bite into a Klondike.
Yeah.
Yep. That one you do. It depends on the application of the ice cream. So
I take back questioning the chewing the ice cream now because there's several levels to that.
It depends on the application. It depends on the.
Yep.
This is the content we crave on our show.
So now
that's not even recorded. I guess I have to put this at the end.
Ice cream or specific ice cream that we all choose.
Soft serve was the specific example. Like if somebody brings you just an ice dream from Chick-fil-A, are you chewing?
All I imagine is like me eating ice cream and just somebody's looking at me. I'm like, I don't do that.
Like a fucking
you're not
skeleton.
Chewing an ice cream.
Like
you're
I'm a dog trying to get the ice cream between my teeth out. So.
Right, you don't floss. You're like, man, I had a big ass bowl of ice cream. I need some fucking floss now. Said no one.
Peanut butter to a dog and like, hey, you take care of that for the next hour. Enjoy.
Just smacking.
That's fucked up. Thanks, Boish, for derailing us. We didn't even get started. We didn't even get off the ground.
Yeah, before we even begin.
The derail gun.
His Gundam marathon watching apparently again. So.
He's what?
Yeah.
Gundam Seed marathon watching. I guess they got the Gundam Seed sequel coming out.
What's he trying to finish? He said so before something comes to Atlanta. Is that going to be like a movie?
The movie is a movie, yeah. Leave it. When did that series come out, Brand? Like 2002. So it's like the 22nd anniversary or something like that. That Gundam Seed's old enough to be somebody's. Old enough to be an adult now.
In my mind, we should still be like 10 to 15 years out from 2002.
No, I sent you that tweet, man. What's his name says relevant, man. I'll sleep and wake up. It'll be 3 months later.
Yeah.
So.
It's already March 6th, so.
Yeah. You could have told me yesterday was New Year's. I'm like, I would have believed you.
3/6.
Yeah.
My friend passed away 4 years ago today. Doesn't feel like 4 years.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Random. All right. Renee says came out in 2006. We said dropping debates and bouncing, so I guess he just fired us up with a chewable ice cream and then got the hell out. I need Mrs. Buish's take. Put that in the chat. He said, chewing ice cream. All right, you guys ready? Oh, we've been recording. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good content. Good content. Might be a lot of stuff after the episode. I know I'm going to cut this and put it at the end, but for those who hang around. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 295 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and ice cream chewing podcast. Where does that come from? Listen after the credits. You'll get all the ice cream chewing knowledge you've ever wanted to know or didn't want to know. You have a choice. Tonight, Toys for Bob going independent, Saber to be unembraced, comma, Gearbox also to be unembraced, question mark. Over before it began. This is a little bit about Nintendo versus Yuzu. And we have your March PlayStation Essential and Game Pass titles. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's
Brant
up?
McKee.
Always use your railgun in unsafe mode.
Stay unsafe and unhinge your mandible when you are consuming ice cream.
When I see it, I would just, I don't know, man. I always would imagine I kill myself every time because I'm going to hold it too much one time and just go.
Raw dog the railgun.
I don't even know what the railgun is. You guys have to describe it.
Apparently we're going to have to now because after this,
it's up.
Man.
It's the only way you could do is to do the unsafe mode to break armor.
Just put it in first person mode and you watch it go up and up and up and then you just let it go. Let the trigger go.
So I have to watch a video now of the railgun that you guys experienced. I'll never get to experience that.
No, you'll get to experience it. It's the same. It just regular mode does less damage.
Railgun is a laser sniper that will drop down Bile Titans in one shot if you shoot him in the head.
Yeah, you remember those giant big ass things on stilts?
The big mantis things?
Ran away from? Yeah.
Like daddy long legs.
Yeah, it can drop them in one shot.
That's our nuked them though. I thought that was a pretty good solution. Is that only one per round?
I just got. All right, we can talk about it later. But I upgraded my ship stratagems. Now I get two
nukes.
So.
Nice.
That's helpful.
Because I went through that whole thing on there. So I'll do 2 before I have to go to rearm.
I've been busy. You guys stepped up your Helldivers game. I got to catch up. I already felt like I was
getting
behind.
all the rare samples and shit.
I've been sick most of the weekend, so that was the energy I had to do that. So
you sat and jammed.
I mean, I didn't have the energy to play Rebirth like Brant was. That's all his ass on there.
Oh my gosh! I don't even get that far. I've played for 3 hours and I still haven't really done anything.
Damn!
I got to the open worlds. Like, this shit's so fucking huge. I'm trying to run around and do everything. So I'm gonna have to do this later.
I started doing a bunch of the side missions.
This is a fucking open world game. It's huge. I was like,
I've seen somebody's hot take that they were thinking that 16, like the way they had pitched 16 and showed off a couple videos, that's what it was going to be like, and instead it's in Rebirth. There's a lot of weird. I follow the Final Fantasy 16 subreddit. There's a lot of weird competitive comparison stuff.
But that's usually how they did it, right? Because then they usually, when they did each numbered entry, they always did it as a team, and they always competed against each other to challenge themselves.
Yes, developers. Yes, that's a great thing. I'm talking about the idiots on Reddit that are.
Real life people. I stopped paying attention to real life people because every time I go on, there's somebody bitching about something. So I'm like,
it's like, man,
I don't even pay attention anymore, man. I was like, literally, as soon as somebody writes an article about Final Fantasy 7, I already know the top comments gonna be somebody bitching about it being on PlayStation, bitching about it looks like shit, and waiting for the PC version. That'll be the second one. And I'm trying to sit there and get the information I need, and that's all. Everybody just floods the comments. I gotta let everybody know how they feel about it. I'm like, all right, I don't care about that.
We'll add the discourse that Cloud is an unlikable character, which we've all known for 25 years at this point, until a certain point in the story. And Clive is very likable, and I'm like, you can't argue with that, but I don't think there's any need with the character development of the two people to run up this flag that one is better than the other. I don't understand.
So, are we gonna do that? Why don't we just talk about games played right now, since we're like...
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Because we really, besides Helldivers and a little bit of Final Fantasy, we haven't... I've
only played Helldivers.
I promise you.
Let me start very briefly with games acquired, because I'm righting wrongs. You guys know I got Assassin's Creed.
Maybe.
I got Assassin's Creed a couple weeks ago. I got Atari 50 off of eBay for the same price I would have paid for it new. And then I know you guys are loving the Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, I righted that wrong.
Also bought that on Switch.
Okay.
I got my digital on PS5 and bought the physical on Switch. So.
We are supporting then. I'm sorry I'm late. Cesar sent me. Hey, he's like the numbers just didn't hit for Prince of Persia. It was not a good one for them, and I'm like, fuck, I was part of that. But at least we were talking about it on the show, right?
Yeah.
Dozens of listeners were finding out about Prince of Persia.
Y'all saw the budget for was it Alan Wake 2? They said that was a AA title too. They only cost them $50 million to make. I was like, damn.
Have they made that back? It was major accolades.
Yeah, they made a lot of money back of it. Yeah, but apparently they didn't know the budget was only $50 million. They said that was it was like a AA
physical
budget.
release. Everybody raved about that game.
Yeah, the game's good, man.
We need more of these. We have dozens of hours now. We have dozens of hours now on a $40 AA game, supposedly, right? Like it's a firestorm right now.
I checked it the other day. Mine's like 35. I was like,
I think I was at 15 last time I looked.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for me for games acquired. And then I've played some Helldivers with you guys, but I think you guys have a lot more extensive with new updates and new strategies and everything.
I'll tag team with Brand on this one because I know I probably played a little bit mostly what Brand played here. Yeah, so I know we jumped on, what was it, Saturday night, Richard?
Well, I feel like we played Friday night and Saturday night.
Yeah, that first week was the one we were like playing almost every night, I think, right?
Yes, because that was like the first time we didn't stream was Thursday night. Yeah.
That game's kind of hard to talk about because there's so many different things that happen there at different times.
Yeah.
So it's like, that the whole game is like always trying to complete your directive orders. Is that what they call it, a directive orders?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, last time I checked, we had to keep track of the planet and win. I think for the last couple most of this weekend's been a fever dream for me, so I'm trying to remember everything else.
There's a lot of layers to it, and I don't know if we've actually ever described Helldivers as what it is outside of already knowing what Helldivers 2 is.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of remind me, Brand, or correct me or whatever, but I mean, it feels like Left 4 Dead game director type stuff. Like every time you go on the planet, it seems like there's some kind of like a director that runs how that planet's going to go.
Yeah.
So,
or like Hunger Games, where that guy was designing, all the people are on they're trying to survive, and he's designing like creatures and firestorms and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, I mean,
they've come out and said that it is a big possibility. They're not using AI, but you could have a secret fifth player technically, because there could be somebody from their team watching what's going down and deciding, oh well, it'd be cool if we dropped a bomb here, or we just opened up a bug hole or something right here and flooded them with enemies, or yes, so there is like literally a secret person that could fuck with you while you're
what
and make your mission harder.
Is this the duck hunt thing where the person that plugs in the other controller controls the duck? Is that what you control the bugs?
So which would make sense because they have a lot of good data on there about like, all right, we made because they were looking at the reasons why they nerfed what they nerfed, like the pulse rifle. They're like, yeah, we saw it was too powerful, especially in safe mode. So like they see a lot of that stuff, and they're like, we're gonna dial it down, and maybe if it doesn't turn out well, then we'll kind of ease it up a little bit. So, but I mean, because for me, like from when I was playing, I think because we ended up playing friend of the show Russell almost every night.
He's hooked.
And then,
I know, still hooked.
And then I think Brant has joined us a couple times. I know on Sunday night and maybe Monday. I can't remember.
Maybe Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because Tuesday was when I started getting kicked after we played that first initial.
So I think I'm like level 25 or 26. I have everything unlocked that I want. So I got the energy shield. So for now at that point, until they made the changes, the energy shield and the pulse rifle, you were invincible at that point because we were going through when we had no issues with anything.
Damn.
So like the only issues we had at the final, because I played a little bit with Russell yesterday, and on the final Helldiver setting, I think there was only one that I think I evac'd. After that, we all died after the mission was complete. So we got the credit, but we could never evac. It was because you would just get overrun at the very end.
Okay.
So the thing we noticed is that the longer you take in the mission,
the
less likely your chances you're going to survive.
Yeah.
You're going to get more shit going, random shit going.
And they follow you. They aggro to you at the end.
So like we tried it. What we started doing was like, all right, let's split up, try to get the components the best we can.
What was this mission like?
As much
hard drive or ICBM or something like that? Or...
I've done so many, I don't even know if I can.
You're just splitting up for one of the random tasks.
Yeah. So if it's ICBM, you have to turn on power, get mission codes.
Yeah.
And that's usually the two, and then you have to go and arm the missile and then launch it, and then get to the evac zone. They have the oil where you have to sit there and turn on the oil fields, redirect the oil, then go over there and refill it on the helicopter, which makes it painful if you have to sit there and fight hordes off because you have to do at least 2 of them every time. So, and then you have the side missions you have to get on there. So, like, a lot of times when you start off a mission, you can get pulled in many directions because, like, oh, shit, there's an escape pod over there, transmit the data, or, oh, there's a radar tower over there, or, oh, there's a nest over there. So, I mean, sometimes you get pulled off in different directions. But I think what we've learned, or you got to destroy the eggs. I think what we've learned is try to split up. That way we can try to get as much of it we can get done in a short time span. Because the longer you stay there, the more likely things are to get far.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You've said that on one of the missions I played with you last. It's like, we got to get out of here. They're just going to keep coming at us. We were like stuck on a beach, one of the jungle maps, and they were flooding us on that beach, and the chargers just kept coming. And it's like, we got to get. You said we got to get out of here. They're just going to keep coming.
Because that's like the ones I hate is the search and destroy ones, the blitz ones, where you have to find the nest and they're not labeled.
Right.
And so like every time we drop, as soon as we drop it, we're already getting hammered. And that's why I said we got to run, man. We can't just sit here because we waste 3 minutes of the 12 minutes just trying to get our shit down and try to all right, we're settled.
That's right.
Go look for
and
shit.
Those have a time limit that you have to adhere to.
Yeah. And that one's the best one for everybody just to split up and see, there's one over here and just start marking them on the map. That way, if you can't get them, that somebody comes back go over here and get it. Because it's just trying to find the 12. I think on the impossible difficulty it was like 12. You had to close 12 or 15. It was something crazy. So, and we did it. So.
Drawing Grave says, spread that democracy and freedom, whether they want it or not.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Helldivers is good. It's a good time. I mean, I can kick it up with Brandon. If you got anything you want to add, Brandon, Richard.
I did. I was hitting a wall with it. Like, what am I doing wrong here? I'm not competitive. I feel like I'm pulling the team down. I had to go in and respec my character, so I added the flamethrower. I had been saving up the credits and I hadn't bought new stuff in a while, so it's like, I guess the level cap or whatever had caught up with me, and I started equipping the flamethrower as like my drop-down weapon, because Russell pointed out, like, I was just dropping with 2, like I wasn't even equipping the machine gun. I just had 2 weapons, and you definitely need more than that primary. So between the shotgun I unlocked and the flamethrower is excellent at crowd control. And now it sounds like with this new update, we haven't played it yet, but it sounds like it'll take down chargers, which I've been cooking those chargers as much as possible.
You better enjoy that now, because I don't know how long it's going to last. But
when they add something like that,
yeah, it seems like that was an unintended add to that.
We'll see, because
for the chargers to drop so fast.
They're so fucking hard, man.
I mean, I've gotten to the point where, like Brant's mentioned before, man, if you get the pulse rifle, shoot them in the armor, break the leg, and then shoot the leg the second time, they'll die. But it seems like the pulse rifle is not going to do it unless you change it to unsafe mode and measure it. But the problem with that is, like, you have to, for unsafe mode, it's like Brant said, you have to go in sniper mode. You have to watch
there's literally a meter on the gun, and it's like a power meter. So think like, I don't know, Wii Bowling, this thing that fills up.
Yeah.
And if but it is a charge.
Or like Hot Shots, Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah. If the thing is though, if this goes all the way to the top, that gun is going to blow up in your hands and kill you. Yeah. So yes.
And so I was using that charge rifle just to pull up and just hold and shoot, and to kill the charges. But you can't do that anymore. That game's designed for you to sit there and measure it and then shoot precisely. So you can't, in those situations where something's charging me down, I'm not going to have time to do it like I did before. Yeah. So the pulse rifle nerf hurts, so that's gonna hurt.
New ways to play, yeah. They're gonna change it up, and like you were saying with the Game Master thing, they're watching that stuff.
All right. So I'm 100% certain that Brandon's way further than me in Rebirth, so I'll talk about the little bit I did. Did not play the demo at all. I think all I did was load it up, save, and then that was it. Because I just loaded up the
extra goodies.
It gives you stuff, right?
The demo at all. Yeah, I get it like an accessory and
a bangle.
Nothing major. I think the most important thing is that if you carry over your save data from 7 Remake, you get was it not Shiva? I think you get Odin for the interlude. Odin for the interlude, and I forgot what the summon was for 7 Remake.
Oh my gosh, it's the dragon.
Bahamut.
Leviathan.
The water dragon.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
So you get those bonus summons from that game. I saw that none
That's
of my
clutch,
shit
right? 2 summons right off the rip.
Yeah. None of my swords that I worked hard to get from the first game, none of that shit came over. I'm back with the damn Buster sword. And none of my materia came over, all that shit too. I was like, boo. And that started, instead of starting at level 50, I was like, level 15.
What's weird is like at the very beginning of the game, there's a flashback, and it's the same flashback that you play in the demo.
Yeah.
In the flashback, you're level 40.
40, yeah.
But then when the actual game starts, you're level 15.
Like a Metroid type thing where they give you all the abilities to start with, and then in the storytelling, they take them away.
So, and then I won't ruin. I'm not going to say anything about it because I know Richard and other people haven't played. But there's some interesting stuff happens in the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, the first 8 minutes is like, what the fuck is going on here?
Really?
You play somebody. You play as an additional character that hasn't been introduced in Final Fantasy VII as a playable character before. So that wasn't part of the demo when I went in there and just tried to save and got out there because you started off in the flashback as Sephiroth in the demo. I was like, okay, and I was like, when I started this up, I was like, all right, let me see what happens here, and it's completely different. And this it's I don't know, it's kind of a mind fuck for somebody who's played Final Fantasy VII before. Then you go back to, as Brant alluded, the first 2 hours of that game probably is going to be their flashback, and was in Nibelheim, where Cloud is in Calm and explaining how Sephiroth became the way he became, what happened to him.
Yeah.
And so it goes over that details. And the thing I've bitched about since I told you when I played the original one, where I never understood, was how Tifa would later on say he wasn't there, all this stuff, but never mentioned it in his backstory. Yeah. They finally kind of fixed it in this game.
That's good.
They kinda. Nothing was resolved. It's still like the same results from the first game, but like something was mentioned. Like, I don't remember any of this stuff, type of thing. So like, I still like the dynamic of the parties. So it builds on what was done before. There's a lot of this game's very big on party.
It's basically like Persona. You've got to build up the relationships between you and your party members.
So, and you have a meter where you can sit there because everybody's on the edge right now. That's the whole thing. So everybody's kind of like almost not at each other's throats, but everybody's on the same page. So, and Cloud's got to do this stuff like where he'll go on, hang out at events with characters or give them stuff or whatever.
Kind of like the dating element from the PS1 game. Like if you're nicer to Barrett, you might go on a date at the Golden Saucer with Barrett, that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I think it's more deeper this time, right? Because I think the story changes a little bit if they're more friendly with you. So it's like they kind of want you to get everybody's levels up to build that team camaraderie.
The party.
But what I do enjoy with this remake is I think they do treat Cloud a little bit better. He's not this like weird tool that he was in the that first 2 disc of 7 in the original one, where like he's still it on this one, but you see some of the like where he's trying to make changes is like and stuff like that, and you still see the psychological effect he's going through a lot more sooner, and you can see it getting a lot worse as it goes on and progresses, instead of it just breaking down one day,
right,
like it did in 7. So I think they done a lot where they honored the original stuff, but they kind of expanded upon it. So it's the same thing as the original game. An issue happens, you gotta get out of the calm, and that's where as soon as you get out of the calm, that's where this open world pops up. So you have to go to the Chocobo farm type thing, like you did in the original one. But it's like this huge ass spatial area, and you have to like run around to measure the map and unlock stuff. And so it's like just me, and it's like me running in. But it's a good world, man. It's like you have these Mako like pipes all over the ground that's destroying the scenery and stuff like that. And it's like in between like the flowers and stuff like that. It's you see like the damage that's happened to the world. It kind of gives you a better idea like why Barrett and them are trying to stop that stuff, because it's like that kind of like how you see our world with like smokestacks and stuff like that. You start seeing that in their world, and it starts to overrun nature and stuff like that. So, and you see like all the Makos coming up from the pipes into the air, and you can see all it's interesting. So that Brant's probably further than me. That's about as far as I got, because I've got right up to the Chocobo farm, and I was like, I'll mess with this later, man. Because that whole open world thing is like, I want to kind of look around and see if there's something that I'm missing or something like that. Because they have like treasure chests and stuff like that sprinkled around in battles and stuff like that.
Is it the same music at the Chocobo farm? I always love that theme.
Oh, the music in this game is freaking amazing. It's top tier. Oh, it's so good. I'm honestly basically around the same area. The only thing is I've just completely done a bunch of the side things because there is a lot to do, especially the area part that Cesar's at. Very soon afterward, you meet a character that was in the remake, and he basically does like a bunch of
Oh, don't be that Chad bitch. Don't be the Chad bitch.
Chadley.
Chadley, yeah.
It's Chadley.
Oh god.
He does a bunch of the like virtual
he me the wrong
missions.
Way, he's so weird, man.
I know he does a bunch of the virtual missions and stuff like that. But the thing is,
who's this character?
Doing those?
Is it a new character?
He's a new character.
He's a new character in the first one, but he does like the VR stuff. Like I don't know if he's a real person.
Oh,
he's the one that gives.
No,
you,
he's like a robot
Android.
or something.
He
was made by Hojo.
He's giving me fucking reports to do for Hojo. I'm like, man, leave me alone. It's like you need to do this. I'll give you material in return. I was like, go away.
He's made by Hojo.
The thing is,
Hojo made a lot of things in this game, so
he gives you things to do so he can conduct research, and in return he can boost your materia, he can make you new materia. There's several missions you can do and unlock different materia and things, and there's some that I'm like trying to grind to get because actually pretty early on there's some good ones you can get.
Do you want to help Hojo, or is that not established in the canon yet?
It's no, he's not this guy.
Supposedly
he was made. He was made by Hojo, but he's like not working.
Oh,
for Hojo.
Okay. He's not like a direct report or something.
No.
I think
you're not farming for Hojo.
I mean, you I don't know. I just remember the original one, and you just meet Hojo. Was it Crystal Soul or whatever it is?
Yeah, he's at the beach,
hanging out on the beach or something like that.
Yeah. So once you meet Chadley, that basically puts all the little dots on your map, and you have the open world game trope of go over here and inspect this, go over here and activate a tower, and all
these
little side missions.
Too much bloat.
I heard it gets really bad. The reason I read is it says it's not bad to the very end. It just gets really bloated at the end with the side missions.
Yeah. The thing is, you don't even have to do.
Are they rewarding like 6? And here we go. We have to compare, right? There's always a comparison type thing. And I said 16's side missions were so rewarding story wise.
I don't know.
And that's the thing is, these are not, at least at the moment, are not going to contribute to your overall enjoyment of the story or enriching side characters or things like that. At least at the point I'm at right now, I'm unlocking towers, I'm seeing new enemies and assessing them. I'm finding crystals that lead to shrines for the guardian of the area, which happens to be Titan, and I have to find several of these shrines in order to give me like a buff in order to fight Titan, because that's one thing when you go in on his first that's automatically unlocked in the VR missions is you can fight or AR or whatever it is, you can fight Titan, but he is hard. So with
is there a recommended level for that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He was pretty good about putting recommended levels on there on the first game at least. Like, hey, you gotta be level 17 for this guy.
Yeah, a lot of them do have recommended levels. I can't remember what that one is though.
Yeah.
But I found the crystal and did the thing where you literally have to go and like find this crystal and like synchronize with it. And now that I go back into the missions, it shows like you can do the regular Titan fight, or you can do his power level decreased by 1, and then it's decreased by 2, decreased by 3, but those are blanked out until I find the other shrines.
Oh, the other stuff on there.
Yeah.
Okay, it gives you I see what you're saying.
Are there a bunch of currencies?
But
crystals sound like a currency.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. But
no.
You do the grind to help you out if you wanted to. So if you want to go,
yeah,
I got you.
And no. Those aren't the currency. Your currency's still gil, and that's the other thing is like I'm supposed to be going back in town and talking to people in the town and doing work for people just like we did in the first game, where Oh, it's rewarding to help people, but it's just somebody goes, there's some monsters over here. That'd be great if there weren't monsters over here. Go and fight them.
Play me in this card game I just introduced you in. And
oh
I was like,
gosh,
what?
Queen's Blood. Yeah, they added.
I lost my ass on the first one with the weird mogul thing talking to me. I was like, all right, let me try it out.
I haven't even attempted it.
I was like, fuck this game. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
There is a whole ass card game that they created for
not
this
really.
thing.
I've not ever gotten into one of those. Not Chocobo Hot and Cold. Not Triple Triad. None of those. Tetra Master.
Triple Triad's probably my favorite one. Yeah,
I've never really liked.
Triple Triad's probably the one.
Remember?
I was like, yeah, I could do Triple Triad.
Russell famously went to that first town in Witcher 3 and just played Gwent for the next 40 hours. And that first town of Witcher never went anywhere. It was a Gwent simulator.
But it can be rewarding in order to get certain materia, because there's like auto casting materia or auto ability materia that you can equip on your party members. Because in this game, you played the first one. You can kind of switch back and forth on the fly to your other party members. But the thing is if you are not currently controlling Barrett, he's not going to use his ability, or he's not going to use one of his commands unless you go in the menu and tell him to do that. But you can equip those certain materias, and there's an auto casting materia too. So like you can link, if somebody has one of those linked materia spots, you can throw healing and auto cast. So as soon as you start getting down, your comrade's healing you. So
useful.
And this one, Brand, I don't know what it's called. You have to correct me, but this is the one where when you build up the party allegiances with each other, I think there's dual attacks depending on how close you are to somebody.
Yes.
I forgot what is it called. It's like you have to hold L1 and R1. And it's like if you're close with Aerith, both of y'all can do attacks together. Synergy, yeah. Synergy attacks. Yeah, so that's part of the team building exercises too, because the better affinity you have with that character, you can do more synergy attacks.
Yeah.
So.
And there's like everybody,
which are like very cinematic. They're very cool.
Yeah. Like
the ones that you had with Cloud and Sephiroth were like pretty badass.
Are they like Chrono Trigger, like building up those team-based abilities, those combos?
I don't know if you would like
really.
Those are easier to call because you just get the person in the team, and just when you have enough to beat, you just attack it. This one's like rare. Maybe it's you only gonna get to see those maybe in a long battle, or if you've done many battles back to back. So yeah, it's like a limit break. It's like an extension of another limit break.
Gotcha.
So.
And everybody's basically got like their own little skill trees that you can spend
There's a lot of
SP on,
it's like
and unlock different abilities.
Some Final Fantasy X like spear stuff in there. And there's like another one for weapons and another grid for weapons.
But
but
it's cool because there's stuff like you can unlock. It increases your max HP by 200, or you go over here and upgrade this path, and now you have a just in your actions, just like using Braver or something like that, you now have a ice spell that you can cast for no MP. And so there's other little things throughout there, bonuses and stuff that are extremely helpful to like just kind of go throughout the tree and look which way you want to go. And it even says when you start doing it in the tutorial that you can at any time just reset the thing. Just reset it and respend your points however you want.
I feel like they've learned that over the years, right? Like Final Fantasy 12 gave us the Zodiac Age, where it lets you recast everybody.
Yeah, because 12 was like really tough, man, if you didn't set it right. I think that's why there was a little bit more forgiving. Because 10 was 10 you were locked in when you started going down a path. It's like
10's remaster also introduced that. Or
did they bring it back in that?
Yep.
Okay. I remember just playing the original 10. I still have yet to beat a remaster of 10, even though I own every one of them.
It had like an advanced sphere grid type thing.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing really, unlike Cesar, I did play through the whole demo. Except for the second part. When they came up with the update, I played it for like 10 minutes, and then I never went back to it until the game actually came out. I was like, okay, well. But actually playing through the first part, the Nibelheim demo, you'll start the game like normal, play through up to where Cloud and Sephiroth are in the village, and then you'll start to go on the mission. And at a certain point, I think it's right after the first trophy pops, because there's like a trophy.
Like Homecoming or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. It'll give you the option. It's like, hey, we noticed you played the demo. Do you want to skip forward in the story? And so it'll actually skip you. That way you don't have to replay, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I love games that incorporate
of
that
stuff.
Nibelheim's a long ass time.
It's a long area.
I was disappointed when Sephiroth didn't throw a materia at me and flew at me.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
I remember that
was
scene.
threw me against the wall.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed. It's like, he's supposed to fly at me. I was like, where the fuck did you get all this power from?
Doesn't he have the sword out in front? Like,
but the one drawback I did see from doing that, though, from skipping that portion of the story, is I continued playing from where the demo left off, or a little bit before the demo left off. Continued, and then it got to a point where it was the end of the flashback. I didn't even know it yet, but it got to like a very pivotal moment, and then I got a pop-up on my PS5 saying, please wait while the game finishes installing, and I had like 8 minutes to finish it. I was like, wait, what's going on? And then
yeah, I mean that's 2-disc gaming.
That was a long copy.
Yeah, I waited the 8 minutes, and then turned it back on.
How long did it take you? How long did it take you? The install was forever, but I think the longest install I ever had was fucking Tekken 8. It took me 1 hour to install Tekken 8.
You mentioned that one.
It was like 59 minutes. I was like, holy shit.
This was what, like 160?
And that's more than Tekken 8. That's what I was like. Tekken 8 was on one disc.
Gigs.
Tekken 8 was 90 gigs on the disc, and it took 1 hour. I sat there for like 59 minutes. I was sitting there like, what the fuck?
Oh
yeah,
my.
the install disc. I want to say the install disc took maybe 40-50 minutes.
Oh yeah, yours.
And then when I
couldn't remember.
When I put the play disc in, I didn't see anything. But then when I actually started playing it, it was installing still. So
maybe it copied off the install disc and then just had to install in the back.
Well, I mean, it punished Brant for being the better man for going through the demo, because they're like, whoa, we only had up to the demo done. He's like, you fucked around, now you gotta wait 8 minutes.
Yeah, you were supposed to play that part we already put on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I skipped it, got to play like 2 more minutes, and then it was like, oh, wait, nope.
Because I think,
not ready.
See, luckily for me, I just threw the fucking disc in and played something else. I don't even remember how long it took. I just remember when I was super excited to play Tekken 8, and I just sat there. It's like 59 fucking minutes. I was like, get out of here. I sat there and fired up Tekken 7 instead and just waited through the 85-minute load times on that game. So,
but that is one thing about playing through all of Chadley's
so badly built though.
Little VR mission things, is you get to hear a lot of the different music. So I'm like, and after you complete it, the characters do like their classic victory poses and stuff, which is pretty fun. Yep, Cloud will twirl the sword and then put it behind himself.
That was so fucking cool.
Red 13 stands up on his hind legs and roars. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, Red 13's the man on this one, dude.
Red 13's freaking.
He was in my final party 25 years ago.
He was great in the original one. He's even better in this
one,
man. He has so much personality in this one, yeah. They did such a good job, man, fleshing out these characters, man. It's not a phone in, man. You know how, like, I've always been big on Final Fantasy when they first hit the 3D era, which was 7, 8, 9. And I think going back and playing, like, the, 4, 5, and 6, the storytelling in 4, 5, 6 was so much better. Because they didn't have to contend with all that other extra shit for the 3D, which some of that got lost. I think they kind of, like, took that stuff you play, like, 6, where they have, like, a lot of that character development, stuff like that, they kind of interjected in this game. It feels like it's so much better.
They've said, didn't the director come out and say if they remade 6 in this type fashion, it would take, like, 25 years or something? Because of all the shit that goes on in 6 and everything you do.
Yeah, and plus they don't have any, like, references for those characters in 3D, so everything's got to be created from scratch. You have to design those 2D characters and, do them in 3D. I'm assuming that's probably part of it, the game design on there. But I think, like you said, it's the script and how those characters are written. I mean, this 7 seems like something that would have been written in, like, Super Nintendo era. It's like there's a lot of, shit, the fucking, was it the fucking hotel owner from Calm has a backstory. I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, there's
cool.
like characters who help you out. That's like, like, yeah, this happened to me. The reason I'm helping you is because of this. I don't know if I should or shouldn't. Blah blah blah. And like, there's so much shit going on there from different characters that you've never been in there before. So
I've got to get around to that.
It's a different experience. It's a different experience. Yeah, yeah.
Does this one seem like native PS5? Like, okay, this was not possible on previous hardware. Like, you couldn't do this on PS4 Pro.
I don't know if
I don't know.
PS4 Pro would
We all played
Yeah,
16. Like 16 was a showpiece.
I mean, we could all be better people and just say if they just would have just put this on PC and we just kept paying $5,000 graphics cards every 4 years, we'd probably be all right. But
about to say the biggest thing with this is to definitely go on performance. The graphic mode is just, I don't know.
It's
It's
interesting.
kind of jarring.
It's not as the frame rate's kind of weird if you're used to playing 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
So it's very noticeable. It's 30. It's very so
noticeable.
if that stuff bothers you, you're gonna notice immediately. Like, I can't do it. And then they're still having issues iron out with the graphics on performance. So like I said, you're in a good spot. By the time you get to it, a lot of that shit should be ironed out because I think it still doesn't look right in performance. There's some resolution issues on certain things. So.
Okay.
Sometimes you get that like smear or like
shadows
vignetting kind of thing.
It's
Yeah,
like
but
pixely shadows and stuff like that. And they said they're working on it. So
I don't know. But that steady frame rate, man, it makes all the difference to me.
Yeah.
I automatically switch to that, and I sometimes I go back and forth, and it's like I don't know what I'm missing here. I don't really see anything. Like
there's certain games I don't notice it, and there's certain games
Really?
that I do. So like, and now it depends on the game for me. So like this one, I think I've played on performance, and it's something that does feel off. So, but like I said, it's only the little bit I played. It's like it only felt off when I got to the open world. It feels a little off. So I don't think it chugs as smooth in the open world because I haven't had any issues until then. Until when I started getting in the open world, I was like, this doesn't feel right. So
I know I did 16. All that time I put on the Portal was 16. I was playing in performance mode, and it was flawless, even streaming on that.
I mean, you're using that 1080p device, man. Just always go performance mode at
Yeah.
that point.
The 1080p device.
Ain't like they ain't gonna give you no 4K on that thing.
True.
So I've always switched to the performance mode when I do
Yeah.
that. So that's just me. That's just me. I don't need Brant saying, well, this is why I don't need it in my life. I'm like, damn it, Brant.
Now it's an actual PSP though. He's still not intrigued.
Could be. Was it like one game you can put on there? There's like 80 megs in there, right?
Is that what's on board?
I think
It
it's
was
80
like
megs,
nothing.
Yeah, it's like you can put like one ISO in there, barely.
80 megs.
You'd have to put a CSO. Yeah, you'd have to put a CSO.
I mean, they're geniuses.
Damn
They're like,
compressed.
They're geniuses. Like, we'll put any storage on it. They can't put shit on
Yeah.
there. So, yeah, go ahead and hack it.
Go for it.
until somebody hacks and put Game Pass on there and be like, all right, let's go.
Right. It's always going to be a streaming solution.
Put a web browser on there so they can finally get to Game Pass and stream it.
Or some little thin USB thumb drive that goes in the USB port that's got a bunch of shit loaded on it. There's that too.
Call it another USB device called like Crackhead or Meth Pack or
Head Pack.
Oh God.
I don't see those anymore. I feel like I missed the opportunity to
I know
buy
they're
some
gone.
PlayStation Classic drugs.
I'm sure they got the hell out before their account. The stores got closed on Amazon.
Right.
So,
They got the narcs come for us all. The
DEA.
Yeah.
The Sony DEA.
Yeah, you getting some more of that crackhead pack?
You know how the internet is, man. As soon as somebody talks about something illegal, they're like, FBI. You seen this guy?
You wouldn't steal a PS1 ROM, would you?
Oh God, from the IT crowd. Yeah. You wouldn't shit in a police helmet. Helmet. It's like some weird random stuff that you normally wouldn't do. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna shit in somebody's helmet.
Yeah, that would never happen. All right, you guys. We did it in reverse. You guys want to get in the news?
Yeah.
I mean, we want to shut the fuck up about Helldivers, so why not, right?
Yeah, it's like lead into that. And we used to do games played years ago. I think before Brant got on the show. And it was hard to get going sometimes. Like, news got us talking about things, and it was like a warm-up of sorts because it wasn't as much critical thinking as it was reading the news and giving our takes on it, right? And we had already thought about it through the week and read the stories and that sort of thing. But then, yeah, it works. I think we have a flow, so if we switch that up, it's
I don't know,
not...
man. You always use that as an example, but it's like when we were recording back in the past, it was like 1 a.m. by the time we got the games played. It was always... a rough ride at the end.
As hard as this can be sometimes, and as tired as we can be, it was worse. It was better. It was worse having to drive and get together every time. That's how we ended up at Huddle House all the time. It was fun though, man.
People's life
story. It was fun.
It's fun, man. Until the lady was telling us about her life story.
Yeah, I could have done without that. I think she sat next to you. Like I think you moved over so she could sit down. I was like, why are you joining us? This is not what we asked for.
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Please, yes. Are you crying? Oh, here's a napkin. Thank you for joining us. We're video game podcasters. That might have run her off. We might have could have got rid of her sooner. We've been doing this a long time.
After that, I've never been in a Huddle
House. That was my last experience. Never coming back.
Yeah, I was like, never again. I go to a respectable Waffle House where I can almost get beat up by a random.
I went yesterday. I went to Waffle House yesterday. We were the only ones in the place for the first 30 minutes, I think. All right, let's get into news. I used to also do the music theme, so that was part of our format as well. I don't do the music interlude stuff anymore. This comes from Chris Scullion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Skylanders and Crash Bandicoot studio Toys for Bob is leaving Activision and going independent. The studio is exploring a possible partnership with Microsoft, in quotes. The California studio was acquired by Activision in 2005 and has worked on a variety of Skylanders, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and Call of Duty games since then. However, in a new statement released today by studio heads Paul Yan and Avery Lodato, it was announced that the developer will be going it alone. Quote, over the years we've inspired love, joy, and laughter for the inner child in all gamers. End quote, the statement reads. That's okay. That's bold. I guess that's knowing your value, right? Over the years we've inspired love, joy, and laughter. Quote, we pioneered new IP and hardware technologies in Skylanders. We raised the bar for best-in-class remasters in Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I would agree with that. We've taken Crash Bandicoot to innovative, critically acclaimed new heights. Brant, would you agree with that? You played Crash Bandicoot Quattro.
Yeah.
You were so on that one.
You know how Brant feels about those hitboxes.
And then that new did they have to do with Crash Rumble?
I don't feel like they did. I don't think that was their baby.
Well, I mean, Crash, yeah, because that was killed off. What?
That's being killed off.
No, here it is. The last game on which Toys for Bob led development was Crash Team Rumble. It's right there in the article.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the reason why it was killed off.
It's literally being shut down next week or something.
Did anybody ever try that? Did we ever try that?
Nope.
Is it digital only?
No, I think I could have sworn I saw physical somewhere. But that game is online only, and we're giving season passes. I think since they're closing it down, they have everything unlocked right now. But I think once online goes away, the game's unplayable. There's no local co-op.
Gotcha.
So that's just like a ticking time bomb if you buy it. At some point, if they cut it, you're not gonna be able to play it.
There's a whole thing about going back to their roots, going independent, while possibly exploring a possible partnership with Microsoft. They're in the early days of developing their next game, they say. In recent years, Toys for Bob has assisted with development of Call of Duty series, but it's best known as the studio behind the Skylanders series. So maybe, is there any way there's a Toys for Life comes back? Is this what we've been hoping for? We wish them luck. They're away from Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, King.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying "Oh man, I really miss those Skylanders games. I wish they'd had a new Skylanders." Who
was this?
Game.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. And
not this time.
Like you just randomly tell people, let me tell you about my Lord and Savior Skylanders games.
Yeah, please.
You want to know how it was surprising? Is it was actually one of my son's friends.
Oh, okay.
And they would have been.
He was like, man,
they would have been too young at the time, right?
Skylanders.
Or no, would that have hit at the right age?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been right for them. But he talked about loving those things, and it's like, man, yeah, I wish they would redo those or make new ones or something.
My kids missed it.
And then he started going off about Disney Infinity too, and I was like, oh my gosh,
I never
collected
collected any of those. I never got to that point.
I remember you were talking about I see them all over the place in Goodwill. I'll be alright.
And now I don't see them anywhere. I just see the portal. I see the portals like the pads. I never see the actual figures or anything.
Man, I bought the Lego Universe, and the only one I bought was Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's the only one I ever needed. And after that, I got out. So
Lego Dimensions. I never
Dimensions. Yeah,
I never played any of the games, but I think I bought the what was it? The Portal stuff. I bought the one that had Chell in it, and I think it maybe had like a little turret dude. And then I bought the Homer Simpson. I think that was it.
I know for a fact I bought the Sonic one. I may or may not purchase like Back to the Future or something like that. I don't remember. I truly do not remember. I know for a fact I bought the Sonic one. That was it.
What was crappy about buying those without actually having the game was they didn't tell you how to put it together. Because like in the box, it had no instruction. It just had the pieces. And like you had to scan the QR code or go inside the game or something and pick which model it was, and it would actually give you the build instructions for it.
Yeah.
So I remember just having to like look it up online.
Oh God, what are we on here? The Saber incident?
Yep. This is from Gamatsu Sal Romano here. Bloomberg. From a Bloomberg insider, Saber Interactive to split from Embracer Group.
So pulling the toys for Bob, basically, right? Or they
no,
they're buying themselves out, or they're going to somebody else.
No, this would be somebody buying Saber from Embracer Group in a deal worth up to $500 million, according to Bloomberg reports. Somebody citing somebody from familiar with the transaction. This would be a deal for Saber Interactive to become privately owned, with around 3,500 employees. The company would still be developing the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Thought that thing was dead.
Apparently not.
They moved to the Saber. It just hasn't. I think what was the joke online? They said there was only like two of the top people were working on that one.
That's it.
That was it.
I do remember seeing that.
And of course, it says this would be one of Embracer Group's biggest moves in the ongoing cost-cutting initiative that they've been doing. Hey, at least they aren't laying these people off or closing the studio entirely. At least they have the option of selling them off.
And this also leads us to our next story, where
more embracing, or are we unembracing?
De-embracing.
Yeah, VGC's Chris Scollion has written, as well as Borderlands Studio Gearbox is reportedly closer than ever to being sold by Embracer Group. Studio CEO Rennie Pitchford, famous magician, enjoy
I was about to say, are they about to vanish from Embracer?
If I ever met Rennie Pitchford, I'll shake his hand and give him a flash
I was about to say, speaking of
USB-C
flash drives, we were talking about earlier.
Oh!
If he hands it,
what's in here?
Cesar, if he hands you a flash drive, would you plug it into your portal?
I will absolutely not. That's straight porn.
Porndle.
Porn.
PlayStation portal.
No.
Yeah, I'm plugging it to
my. It's a 1080p machine. With DualSense.
It's like that. What was that thing I sent you where that guy's like, yeah, I don't. They were like, good thing I didn't buy the MetaQuest. It's like, I don't know, man. I just would have bought it for porn or something. That's what he told me. I only use it for porn. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about gaming here? I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
here,
somebody was on him about their use case. Like, why would you have picked that one? He's like, no, I don't know, dude. I'm just watching porn on that thing.
I'm glad gaming is like a second option. It's like,
Who knows? Who knows? They were criticizing him for gaming or application or web browser or whatever. He's like, I don't know. I just use it for porn.
He was super excited about the PlayStation VR 2 on PC, so he could watch porn on that. So I was like, he was super excited. So, hey, should I get this one? This one's good? I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, what?
Stupid.
That was sometimes I love Twitter, man.
Sometimes it's good. The nonchalant acknowledgments are where it's at.
Yeah, it's like, why would you buy this, man? I don't know, man. Hey,
he has one use case. He only needs it to do one thing. He doesn't have to upgrade to the MetaQuest 3. He doesn't necessarily need the PSVR 2.
I don't know how you break it to anybody. Like, yeah, I bought the PSVR 2 for PC before.
As they're trying it on.
$600.
As they're trying it on, like.
Oh no.
Man, you gotta try out this VR stuff. It's amazing.
No,
what do you use this? Man. What do you use this for?
If one of y'all told me that shit, I'm never going to y'all's place ever again.
Why is this?
No.
Why is your headset?
Oh God, what's happening?
I would require you to have a second headset. One you have to keep hidden from everybody else. All right, sources have reportedly told Kotaku that the Gearbox CEO Randy Pritchford held a town hall meeting with the staff this week and told them that a decision has been made regarding the studio's future, with more information to be shared in March. So the whole dealio, as I go through here and look at it, is that Embracer's getting ready to sell this company off to somebody else. I don't think in here in this report they mentioned who their potential person they're going to be acquired by. We can all guess that. I mean, it would make sense if it was 2K because of the whole Borderlands franchise and how deep they are.
Since they've published every single Borderlands game. We're here.
There he goes.
Back.
He's back.
Oh, I ducked out. I disappeared.
You
You froze like this. Yeah. So I mean, we don't know yet. So it's not like they would get the Borderlands license or anything, because that's conjunction with 2K. So we don't know who they're going to. So, but I guess we're gonna find out this month sometime then, because I think this was broken early March. They said sometime by the end of this month.
We have a date on the disappearing act. The severance.
When they will disappear from Embracer. Yeah. So as Brent and y'all mentioned before, Embracer's continuing to shed off some of its stuff that it can't keep paying people for, since they couldn't close off their big $2 billion deal. I wonder how long that deal was in the works, because it's like all of a sudden they fucked up and they're like, oh,
it's the Saudi fund, right? The Saudi fund fell through on them, and it cost us Time Splitters.
And they're sitting there like, we fucked up. We bought all. It's like now they're acting like we bought all these companies based off this $2 billion deal we didn't have yet. That's what it seemed like. So
did you see there were two different Time Splitters things. There was somebody finding a possibly old dev.
I saw a screenshot. I haven't watched any of the gameplay
Time Splitters
yet.
4 on a PS3. But then there was also somebody was posting the canceled Time Splitters game that was more recent on like LinkedIn, and it looked weird and cartoonish and almost like Fortnite, and
what would that have
been? It did not look it was whatever was most recent.
Y'all remember that weird Brothers in Arms direction they were gonna go with that cartoony Brothers in Arms?
Yeah, what happened to that game?
Is there any, speaking of canceled games, is there anything like right off hand that you guys think of that you would like to see or have played?
We already got Grace with Duke Nukem Forever. I don't know if there's anything else that can disappoint me any further. So
a big one is always Scalebound. Like, what was that actually going to be, and where did that actually get to?
That rumor keeps coming back. We're like, they're going to remake Scalebound again. I'm like,
and then the one that gets me, because I was thinking about the Time Splitters collection. Factor 5, when they got Wii hardware, they ported all those Rogue Squadron games to the Wii. And there was like playable builds and everything. That would have been an awesome Wii game, I think, with the motion controls and stuff. But
I mean, Disney's doing some good stuff with their license. By the way, we need to buy Battlefront collection. I'm going to jump soon because the bonus ends in a week.
We need to confirm with Russell we're doing that on PlayStation. I think he's all in PlayStation right now. Because we would get it on, if it was coming to Game Pass, we would just play on Xbox, right? But
he said the thing that was holding him up on PlayStation, I think it was just he only had the Plus for 2 months or something like that. I don't know other details about it.
I have it for a week. Mine runs out in a week.
Yeah. So I just need to know, because we get a 10% discount on whatever we buy, and as long as we buy it before the game release, I need to know what we're buying.
Yeah.
So.
Your boy might be dropping to Essential. He might be essentialing it.
Yeah.
Oh, basic. You're just going to be basic, bitch?
I might be. I've got such a huge backlog. I just need the online games, and they're still giving good games with that Essential catalog.
You can upgrade any time, right? That's the whole idea. So, I would just do that and just upgrade when You're like, all right, there's enough here for me to upgrade.
And Brant's big pitch was like, if you want to play something, you just fire it up and it's on there. And
yeah, you don't have to spend $60 on Demon Souls or
I'm just not doing that.
Gosh, and any of these other things, you can just download it and play it at your leisure.
I'm
but
just not doing that a whole lot. Even when I got the Portal, I was playing stuff that I already owned. You know, it wasn't any. It was 16, and well, the Artful Escape. The Artful Escape was a fantastic game, but it's what I had seen from that. I would have paid for it on the platform. I think it was like $11 or $12. Good indie titles, but there's so many good PlayStation sales that happen. So those games can be scooped up, like the Star Wars Squadrons. It's like $2 right now.
PlayStation sales are pretty good,
solid.
Man. They're not as good as Steam, but they're Steam adjacent. They're not Steam perpendicular.
Yeah.
So.
And with us, there's some people that's their only window into certain titles, but we had the luxury of scooping those up across multiple platforms. So
now I can be disappointed multiple times.
Multiple tiers of disappointment.
Yeah, that's what I'm living for here. So I guess we'll continue on here. Brant's favorite part of the show, because I know Brant uses the simulator often, or doesn't. I'm sorry.
I closed that news story.
No. I don't. I have in the past, but I haven't used it in a very long time.
All I know is when I sell the 7 Seas, my IP location's Indonesia, so they'll never catch me, and they haven't yet. So I'll leave it at that.
What did you play on this? You played
Nope. Nope. Don't even say it.
You were crying in the castle.
Not the game that's in question that brought this company down whatsoever. There's no way. VGC's Andy Robinson. Switch emulator creator settles the Nintendo lawsuit for $2.4 million. Yuzo creator Tropic Haze must no longer offer the emulator. So they ended up settling out of court from Nintendo. This is the fastest it's ever been. Somebody had mentioned before, because I guess they were gearing. Sounds like both sides were gearing up the lawyers, and I guess at the end of the day, Yuzu's like, instead of paying more out the ass, because I guess they must have known something, because there is some security. They mentioned in this article there's some security codes for certain cartridges. I guess the questionability about whether or not those have been hacked with the emulator or not might be in play, and that's part of why they decided to we might not win this.
Not only that, from what I can tell, a lot of it was a very morally gray area. Nintendo was trying to say that it was 100% saying that
it's not the emulator.
By their definition, emulators are only there to pirate games.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, considering Nintendo runs emulators on its own system to emulate their old systems.
And publicly accessible ROMs on those emulators.
Yes. But, like Cesar was saying, the keys to actually get the games running on the system, plus the fact that Yuzu had technically a paid tier and
they have a Patreon that was making like $30K a month. That's what happened.
That was a big no-no.
Yeah.
And I guess that was why, probably a big portion of why their lawyers were like, you're probably not going to do good on this.
And then not only that, they confirmed in here, I think we lost Citra as well, right? The 3DS emulator as probably as a casualty, even though they haven't updated it.
Was it the same team that was doing it? Because I had that on my Steam Deck when I was fucking around with the emulators.
They stopped. I think they stopped updating it so they can concentrate on Yuzu, I think is what they said. But it was functional though. But
yeah.
Which the 3DS one is kind of like the one we need right now.
Yes.
That's the one I would argue. That's the most important one outside of doing a Switch emulator, which is like. They haven't shut anything down the Switch yet, so I was like, Switch. It's kind of harder to argue that.
Switch is almost in like PS2 territory, where there's a bajillion consoles out there. There's no shortage of like having issues getting that stuff up and running.
I don't know, man. All that integrated on the board stuff will be issues in the next couple of years. That's why I've always been an advocate on making sure a lot of this is backwards compatible. Yeah. I mean, you can make the argument there's 150 million of them out there, but man. As much integrated bullshit I have to repair every day at work, that shit's not gonna last 10 years before it starts breaking.
System on a chip.
Yeah, I mean, then you have to sit there and find out if NVIDIA makes any more of those types of socks or anything like that. And at that point, that's when you need the emulation at that point. So And that's easily emulated, so I'm not even that worried about it. So, you know, if that stuff does break down, I'm just like, whatever, fuck it, I'll just play it on PC.
I used to read a little good bit and keep up on like the little retro emulator handhelds and things like that. Like I bought one of the Ambernecks a couple years ago and didn't really get around to messing around with it a whole lot. The Steam Deck was supposed to be that solution for ease of access and just having one device and all that sort of stuff. But recently there's like dual screen Windows devices. Have y'all seen those?
Mm.
Yeah.
I've seen 3DS emulators.
Yeah, so I wonder if those are going to be
Yeah.
affected by that Citra support being pulled. I mean, the code's out. Somebody's going to pick it up.
Somebody's already got one called Kuza out there.
Yeah.
They're making name adjacent stuff ones on there. So it's like there's already people backing up what's out there for Yuzu. So it's like,
Oh, well, there was already one that was somebody basically picked up the reins and we're trying to kind of make it a Yuzu adjacent, and then like they announced it, and several hours later they're like, we're shutting down.
On second thought,
yeah, I mean, the only way you get away with it now is if you have internet access over an international waters. I'm like, yeah, come at me, bitch. Yeah, it's extradite me.
we've decided to not proceed with our product Zuyu.
Yeah.
Upon further reflection, it was a little close to something else that someone else just dealt
No,
with.
there literally, I think it was named Zuyu.
Really? It was just
Yeah,
two.
it might be.
It was two
Yeah,
letters
everything-
swapped.
Yeah. No fooling. I think that's what
funny.
Yeah.
No. Ours is totally different. It doesn't go do 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 do.
No.
Pressure. I always say that. I always think of pressure before I think of Vanilla Ice.
Stop.
So maybe Nintendo's hiring these guys to work on the backwards compatibility on the delayed Super Switch or
Yeah.
whatever it's going to be.
So
Possibly.
somebody had some insider somewhere had said that they're thinking that's why they went so hard is because they're not going to ban the Switch. Like a lot of that stuff's backwards compatible, and that's why they're like they can't have that same shit they had with the DS and the PSP where all that shit was heavily hacked, and you know all that stuff can still be affect sales. You know, like why do I need to buy a new Switch console to play the new games when I can just hack this one or do this and play the old ones on that? You know. So I think that's why they're going so
I
hard
don't
on
think
it.
it's as big an effect on sales as they make it out to be.
Look, man, I'm just saying that's what they're saying is what they're thinking on and why they're going so hard on it. So
That and Switch has a leak problem because obviously these games still get out on Street Date or somebody
like 2 weeks before
somewhere
was the Tears of the Kingdom, right? It was 2
grabs
weeks, right?
2 weeks.
grabs a game somewhere off a truck or out of the warehouse, takes it home, and that first iteration of hardware was you could circumvent the protection
That's right.
on it and get past everything and put custom firmware on it with a paperclip, and a cell phone. So it's easy to dump these games, and then they
Paperclip
look
and a
at
cell
it.
phone.
Well,
Hey, man,
well,
you
people
MacGyvered the
wouldn't
fuck
be
out
able
of it,
to. Yeah, and then I guess Nintendo goes, well, people couldn't play that as easily if they didn't have this emulator.
Draw and Braves in the chat says Nuzu, and then Suyu is still kicking. So I guess you can
Okay.
only
Suyu is
have
good.
a 4-letter Switch emulator.
They're all
Yeah.
adjacent, man. They're all adjacent. I love that video. I found out that they're not perpendicular.
Stupid.
Oh, that fucking video gives me every time, man. Now he's perpendicular for stuff. They're perpendicular. They're not adjacent.
That's your new phrase? You're gonna stick with perpendicular?
I always go with they're like, yeah, I found out that they were perpendicular, so should be okay.
Should be okay. All right, next up, your PlayStation Plus monthly games for March. Were we done with the Yuzus and the Suzus?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, there's only one person that I know in this adjacent vicinity with all of us that probably used or may have not used that stuff, so it ain't me.
I may or may not have.
I also may or may not have. You can't incriminate yourself.
known about the Yuzu on a Steam Deck
With the-
type device somewhere.
You were playing some kind of game
Located.
that causes tears or something like that.
Yeah.
Crying in the castle.
Yeah.
From the PlayStation blog, your PlayStation Plus monthly games for March: EA Sports F1 23, Sifu, Hello Neighbor 2, and Destiny 2: The Witch Queen. Those are all available on PS5 and PS4.
They're slowly giving me everything I need for Destiny, and I still have no itch to jump in there. So. I was like, I'm getting every expansion so far. I was like, but I'm like, yeah.
I want to keep being able to say that the last time I played Destiny 2 was on Google Stadia, so I want to keep that streak alive.
I mean, there was a bit where I played with a friend of the show, Russell. It might be in this Witch Queen one or something like that, right before it or something like that. And I think we did some grinding on that one, and I didn't play it since. And that was like at least.
The Witch Queen is it not a newer?
4 or 5 years ago, man. I can't remember.
Yeah, this has to be a newer one.
No, this one it was like that. Witch Queen's like 4 years old now or 3 years old.
Really?
It's not one of the recent ones. Yeah, I have to look.
Is that good content to give out?
I think the one that we were playing was leading up to this, so it was way before this one. It was like maybe the first expansion for Destiny 2. I think that's the last one I played with Russell. And then we sat there and played like one day, all day Sunday. It wasn't that bad, but we never went back to it. So
that was my Elder Scrolls Online experience with Russell too. Yeah. It's not bad. We never went back to it.
I don't know. Me and Russell keep bringing it up every time we play Helldivers. We're like, yeah, I remember when we played the thing at Destiny 2. We'll bring it up every so often, laugh about it, and then never go. And it's like, yeah, you know what? We should play Destiny 2. We never bring that up. But we talk about it fondly. But I was like,
they all blend together. Witch Queen, Taken King, Winter Soldier. Like they all have this same Den of Wolves. They always have this same. Just runs together to me. I can't keep them straight. I honestly thought this was a newer thing. I thought this was a good piece of content.
I mean, we have to actually sit there and go through it. I mean, it's cool from what I've talked to my coworker about. It's cool if you go through that initial blast and go through everything. It's fun. It's just there's nothing in there that keeps you engaged after the fact long enough. So it's like the releases are getting more spread out apart. The raids are more like you can get them done in a day. So it's like there's not enough. It's not enough there. And he's like, the gunplay is like, that's why he kept doing it, because it was Halo gunplay. It was like an expanded version of it. He's like, yeah, he loves it, but it's like, it's just not enough there for you to sit there and kind of like what we have with Helldivers. It's not there. It's not unique every time. It's just, you do the thing and it's done. It's like, okay, what now?
I've said it. I said it on when we're playing together. I don't know if I said it on the stream, but Helldivers is what I thought Destiny was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be those type hijinks and just randomness and just this immersive world that you never wanted to leave, and there was always something new and one more mission and that sort of thing. And
or somehow I'm always killed by Brant McKee. It's canon, something like that. You died from
killed by Cesar.
Hey man, I took a lot of that shit that was team killing, like the mines. After the mines were gone, it's like the team kill. My friendly fire score went down to 0 after that. That's all it was.
Honestly, I've learned to the team kills. Just it's like whatever. We were trying to kill somebody. I don't think anyone's intentionally trying to kill us. It's the bugs that aggravate the shit out of me.
Yeah. I think at this point, if you're getting a team kill, it's because you're fighting a horde. And your teammate might back up in front of you or something.
I mean, I don't even get upset about it.
It's never intentional. You just go, oh shit,
and we all have upgraded turrets and stuff, so people wander in front of the turrets every once in a while, and it's like, okay, this just happens. It's part of the defense.
I think the last one I really laughed at was, I don't know if you were there, Richard. One of y'all were there, where the one I landed straight on the extra computer character and he died. I was like, I didn't even mean to. I was like, as soon as I landed right on the dude right as the.
That's the guy we joined. We joined the guy. Yeah, I was in on that one.
Yeah. I didn't know he's there. I just landed straight down. He's like,
it's like, sorry, dude.
Like,
sorry, dude.
we waited to bring him back. Remember? And then somebody else died. I think you died right before we got in there, right? That's what happened. Yeah. But I had already jumped in because Brant was like, wait for Richard. I was like, I already had jumped in right before.
Because I died covering for that guy to get back and get in.
Yeah.
It's all good. We won the mission.
But I landed straight on that dude. I was like, fuck, man. I didn't know he was ready.
But he wasn't on mic or anything, and he didn't send anything. He just dropped back in.
Well, I mean, it was crazy. I didn't touch anything. It just went straight down. Somebody threw it, and then that dude either ran on it or somebody threw it on that dude, and he just went straight down on him. I was like,
it's not like you can't see the beacon.
Yeah. Like, I mean, sometimes you turn around. Like if you're working on a horde or something, and you turn around, suddenly you can be right on one, and he's not. Like we can't call it out to him. We don't know if he confirms or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he did the emoticon face. That's how I have to watch for people who don't speak now. I gotta look at that. Because that's what Russell says. I'm looking for a emoticon. I was like, yeah, I don't think that's a mic. Yeah, I'm just looking for the emoticon.
What does that do? They can.
Sometimes they do a smiley face, or they do like a thumbs
up. I hadn't played with anybody that did that yet. Okay.
Yeah. They do have some emoticons where they'll do that.
That's cool.
Which on PC you probably don't have a mic, but shoot, on PS5 you just press the little button on the controller.
I mean, I know
you can talk through there.
I know that when they're on PC because they're typing the fuck out of there in that
Yeah.
chat. So
Mm-hmm.
like, there's no fucking way on a PlayStation controller. There's no fucking way.
Brant, did you play Sifu? I feel like you talked about that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sifu's pretty solid.
Brand, did you play F1 2023?
Or
I feel like you've never talked about that
F1
one ever.
1 through 22.
I feel like you talked about that never.
I mean, those games are popular.
Or how about Hello Neighbor 2?
Is F1 120 frames per second on PS5?
I don't know.
Why are you just quizzing Brant? I feel like I just brought it up because I feel like Brant played Sifu and talked about it.
I would rather go to Las Vegas and watch F1 live than play F1 on a PS5.
I think I'm with you.
So.
That does sound like fun.
I really want to go. I really want to go to
one of those Monaco, yeah.
It's Vegas and Florida.
Miami, yeah, they shut down Miami, right? Yeah.
I like the Florida one because they do this around the Sphere and all that stuff on there, and they go through the streets of Las Vegas. That's like shit we would have played on like in the arcades back in the '90s, like those type of games. So I would have rather play something like that, but I don't know. Give me arcade F1. This seems like a simulation. Give me an arcade.
I think it is a simulation, but it's not.
I'll play an arcade.
I got friend of the show Randy F1 Manager, and he quickly backed out of that. He was like, "Man, I gotta like source the rubber on the tires and find a factory for screws." And he's like, "I gotta make sure the people are happy in the factory." He's like, "I don't want to play this game."
it's like there was a whole bit in American Dad where they're building birdhouses. It's like, this is not a Magenti screw. That's why the birdhouse break is. I needed a Magenti screw. I was like, what the fuck?
He's like, this got so granular. It was like way deeper than he ever wanted to get into.
Go over there farming the land so you can build the warehouse. I remember you joking with him like that. You got to go find land for the warehouse, build a warehouse, so you can screws.
Gosh.
It was $10. I think he got a couple hours out of the $10, but I don't think he's going back to it.
700 hours in this game. I still haven't got to the racing part. I'm already fired from my job. I'm like,
he comes in the next day. He's holding his head.
Racing.
You're like, what's wrong? They found out that I'm breaking the labor laws in my factory. I'm being indicted. I just wanted to manage a race car.
I've been demoted to F-Zero.
They said he's over there he's being defended by Phoenix Wright. He's going to jail.
This is a deep lore. I might try this game out now.
I just wanted to find the right screws.
Richard's over here like, how many discs?
Yeah,
this game?
turnabout.
It seems like there's a
turnabout F1 trials. I don't know. You had me in the Vegas one. I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. And they shut down those streets and stuff.
I want to go see it. I want to see it live. I want to see it in Vegas. That's definitely my list.
Drawn Grave is adding tax evasion to our F1 simulator that you're also going to jail for.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
Yeah, but I hired a person for that. What do you mean? That's what this mean, court. I hired a person for that. I paid my money out of my paycheck for this person to make sure I don't go to jail for this.
And the game shows you the contract that you gave to them that they signed. It's like, great.
The board of directors is coming after me for embezzlement. What?
F1 Life Destroyer instead of F1 Manager. 23. There's been 22 prior versions of F1 Life Destroyer.
Oh lordy, this is what they got from buying Codemasters, right? They inherited this F1 series from them, I believe. So
yeah, there's I'm not a big racing game aficionado. There's a podcast I listen to, Player One Podcast. They've been going for a long, long time. And one of the guys on there has a racing league that they do through their podcast, and he loves the F1 games every year. He's been playing racing games forever and ever, but he talks about how great the F1 games are. They have a Gran Turismo league. So there was I remember their transition period between Sport and 7, like when 7 launched so shakily, they didn't all pivot to that one immediately, so it took them a minute. But they've got, the big rig and pedals and all the accoutrement for racing games. Yeah. Last but not least, we have your Xbox Game Pass games coming to Xbox Game Pass. Available today as of yesterday, so definitely by the time you hear this. Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun. Paw Patrol's coming soon, March 7th. What's that?
That's the one I want y'all to play. There's a 90s retro shooter that's kind of like a Doom.
Oh.
I want y'all both to download Bolt Gun.
Try that
out.
That's
the one I kept telling you.
Is it co-op at all?
Y'all enjoyed it. It's really good. No, it's made like old school Doom.
Just a campaign.
You like Yeah, it's kind of like a modernized old school Doom. It's like they took like
for
that
it.
aesthetic,
Yeah.
that look aesthetic, and they made it into a modern version.
That's awesome.
Of it. Yeah, it's really good.
And
Yeah.
Cloud console PC, boot it up on cloud.
40K
baby.
is the Space Marine and Aliens type universe.
That's the one that you and Russell are getting into, right?
We went we went to a Warhammer shop. I bought a
Russell was mentioning.
Yeah, I bought a starter kit because my kid wants to build some of the models, and I was like, "Do you see what this is going to open into?"
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
The little one wants to build the models.
Where did they get that one? Where did they learn that?
Yeah, exactly.
Who taught them that? That's why
you got to build the model and then paint it. And I was like, I looked in the kit and I was like, "This doesn't come painted." And they're like, "No, that's part of the experience."
Oh,
it's like this big.
It's so tiny, man.
Yeah.
Man, get him a Gunpla.
That's the one. Yeah, because
get him like the bear Gunplas and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
they start out with the Gundams and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're bigger, and you could paint those too.
Not
but
be
you
those
can buy like
itty bitty miniatures.
Paint markers. Yeah. You don't have to buy the tiny little brushes and the tiny little things of paint and detail.
That's surprising. I did not know the little one was in the Warhammer like that. Okay.
Was very impressed with the shop and specifically decided on the Warhammer 40K universe over the Age. What is it? Age of AOS, Age of Citron or something.
So was any products was purchased on this visit when you?
That starter kit thing. It came with like a guide to the universe. It came with a really cool. Is this a Warhammer pitch all of a sudden?
I'm just kidding. Yeah. Ooh, you told me he was into it.
So they were playing it. So. Go to a shop because I'd always seen Warhammer, right? Yeah. And we know there's like shit tons of books and they've come out with games here and there. There's some RTSs, all sorts of stuff. I was like, what the fuck is Warhammer? So there's two different universes. There's the Warhammer 40K and then there's the AOS, and it's Age of Scimitar maybe. And that one's more of like medieval fantasy and dragons and like Diablo type, like when you think of the Diablo universe and those type of wraiths and chains and just that think of that fantasy, goth fantasy aesthetic, I guess.
Yeah,
and the Space Marine stuff is like Halo or StarCraft, that sort of universe. And man, we went in the shop and honestly they were split half and half. Like you had one side was the fantasy type stuff, and then the other one was 40K.
I see that joke a lot on Twitter, but I don't think I've understood it until you kind of explain it to me.
It's very, very cool, and there's
like two different worlds. They said you go in there, it's like two vastly different worlds when you go in the shop. That's what I would always hear people talk about on Twitter. About
and they've got kits ranging from like a $5 piece to a big $150 starter set, and you basically roll campaigns. It's very D&D-esque, and you do die roll, and there were people in the back. One person was very, very excited to be there. You could tell this was the highlight of everything that they had going on in their life.
They waited for all week, right? Yep. They're like, "This is the day of the week. I'm only happy." Like that.
Yep. But the guy that
I did with a lot of bullshit.
Man, I should name drop this individual because they spent time to explain these base things about the universe to us. But there's all sorts of rule books and very, very D&D-esque, like a bunch of campaigns you can run. They've got terrain, like licensed terrain kits that you can get, and you'll set up people based off of like there's capture the flag. You can do capture the flag type stuff or take over a base, and it just looked really, really cool. And the little one decided on the 40K universe with there's like these little raptor guys with guns, and that was one of the things that came with the kit. So you got the Space Marine, and he's got the big bolt gun looking thing, and then it was the little raptor model, and we just haven't had time. I think it'll take about 10 or 15 minutes to build that model because it all snaps together. Because when you look at them, they're great looking figures, and they're super small, but they're more detailed than say like an amiibo or probably on par with a Skylander, I would almost say. But there's different tiers of the painting. So there's like the base model. There's the step up from there where you can kind of tell what faction they're at, and then there's like super detailed stuff with battle damage and all. It is a deep, deep wormhole that you can go into. But the stuff in there was really awesome, and you could tell they had a great client base and people that would pre-order. This guy rolled in, looked like George R.R. Martin, the Game of Thrones writer. They were like, "All right, Jim, your books came in. You want them now or are you going to look around?" He's like, I'm going to look around. And so I'm expecting this order. Like, this order comes out, and I'm like, okay, you got a couple books. This Joker had like 9 of these campaign books all stacked up in the special order for this guy. And he was grabbing up kits, man. I guess he was going to go home and build some stuff. But this was in Sandy Springs, I want to say.
Okay. In Atlanta. Okay.
think I covered a little bit of it on the show probably a month or so ago, but that was definitely a deeper dive into those two universes. And there's tons of... So that's like, you're the lore master, man. There's tons of fiction. There's years and years and years of novels in both universes.
No, man, my brain is it's a 40-year-old brain, man. At this point, it
40K.
Keep everything.
Then you need to lean towards 40K.
Yeah.
But
I have to start deleting stuff. I can't. I don't know.
The art styles, like the even though there's two separate universes, like this fed into we're all of like the Lego eras, but I didn't get a lot of Legos growing up, but I would pore over the catalogs and see like the knight. They would have the knight set with the horses and it was like red versus blue essentially with the knights, and then the underwater set where you had like the see-through, you had the submersibles with the see-through cockpit lids, and they had arms, and they were always after like deep sea diving stuff. But then there was a warring faction that was after. I would just pore over these different universes and built into these Legos and stuff. And this it did scratch the itch, but it was like, okay, this is the big kids version of that type stuff.
Yeah.
But they've done.
I guess that's what people grown into, probably. Type of thing,
I could see it happening for sure. And they were back there rolling the die and reading like, all right, you got to move forward here, and it's very tactical. So there's. I think like a Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that, or a Valkyria Chronicles. And Russell was deep into Valkyria Chronicles when we went there, so it was really something he was scoping out.
Yeah.
Man, there's our Warhammer pitch. I didn't see that coming.
There you go.
Paw Patrol World, Cloud Console and PC March 7th. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Brant, you enjoyed that one, right?
Let's go.
I gotta keep asking every game if Brant's played it. That's March 12th. Control Ultimate Edition. This one's still on my list of shame. I know both of you guys love this game.
haven't played.
You haven't played Control?
No, but I know.
We both need to play Control.
Man, I love the Remedy-verse, man. I played every Remedy game, so.
No More Heroes 3. Oh, the Travis touchdown. I thought that kind of faded into obscurity. That's March 14th.
I played like the first. That game is way harder.
Weren't you cutting yards and stuff?
Really?
You were doing like a bunch of.
Yeah, I was okay.
That's the
remasters.
No, that's the second one, I think, right? Or
the cutting yards. That is a mini game in a couple of them, but I think that was you were telling us about like the third game.
Yeah.
That came out. That was like the oddball kind of thing.
And you're talking about the indie simulator where you use a whole bunch of different indie games in there. Where we had the sequel of Shadow of the Damned on that game. Before they're coming. Before he announced the remaster. It's been so long since he announced a remaster. I think it's a fever dream now.
Shadows of the Damned. Yeah, I just recommended that to friend of the show Boosh. He didn't have any Warzone companions recently. I can't imagine why. And he downloaded
Hey, he can refine his Warzone companions if he spends $500 on a console and $40 digitally on the accommodating or just build a PC.
He downloaded Ghostwire Tokyo and he's enjoying that thoroughly. And I was like, really? That's a random pick, but he's enjoying it. And I was like, there's all sorts of games in the Suda Shinji Mikami verse that you can check out. That'll open some doors. What is up with that Shadows of the Damned remaster? And what was the other one? Lollipop Chainsaw we're supposed to get too, right?
Yeah, it's been delayed.
Lollipop Chainsaw, I think they came back and they said they're not doing the remake, right? It's more of a remaster where they're taking some of the assets and upgrading some of it. So they kind of redid that scope of the game. You know, Suda doesn't have anything to do with that one. Him and James Gunn weren't asked to do this one. I think the original director is the one that's doing
Bush said he said I'm all alone.
But yeah, the Shadows of the Damned one I think is what he announced last year. I think during those Summer Games Fest around that time where they had a Grasshopper manufacturer direct. I think that was the news at the very end of it that they were Shadows of the Damned was coming to all modern consoles, but they never clarified which consoles it would be.
He's Garcia Hotspur's Steve Blum, right? The Cowboy Bebop.
I believe so.
There you go, Bush. Full circle. Shadows of the Damned. The lead character is Spike.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, so not to get too off tracks, but yeah, No More Heroes 3 was uber difficult, so I didn't get far in it. So if Brant finally gets farther than me, then I will tip the hat to Brant.
On Game Pass, cloud streaming.
He's a connoisseur of the No More Heroes universe like I am. This is the only game I have not beaten that universe. So I'm muy
Remember
sad.
holding the Wiimote up to my ear?
Mm-hmm.
Blew my
That
mind.
was one of
back
those
in the
first
day.
ones that was like, holy shit. Friend of the show, Strop, was in love with No More Heroes.
That
Yeah.
shit was so good.
I went ahead and stupidly bought it again on Steam and started playing on Steam Deck from the first one. And I was like, oh, here we go again.
I got this one on.
Fired
I
it
got
up.
this one on PS5. I think Amazon clearance them or something for like $20 because it came with a
Really?
soundtrack CD, and I was like,
It sold out quick. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. So No More Heroes 3. My bad.
also coming to Game Pass in.
Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear.
This is what this is. Start your interstellar homestead in this peaceful open world farming adventure. We're not very Buzz Lightyears yet.
Oh.
Build your sustainable exo farm, grow alien crops, customize your mech, and explore a new world full of mystery with up to 3 friends. In Lightyear Frontier. I like Buzz Lightyear Frontier. It's better. MLB The Show 24 continuing. Was this 3 years in a row? MLB The Show's been out on Xbox and Switch. Is it coming to Switch?
Game Pass,
yeah, you could pre-order the Switch one.
It's on Switch also. Yeah.
In case you missed it, Dead Island 2 is available now. I like that they throw that in there. Please, everybody play Dead Island 2. That's not my pitch. That's someone else's. But I think we should give it a shot. I think that'd be a lot of fun. DLC and game updates. I'm not doing those. Leaving Game Pass March 15th. Hard Space Shipbreaker. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered. And Shredders.
Is that a
snowboarding game?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's the snowboarding game.
I tried to do a Google search and it took me 2 Shredders from Office Depot. So.
Or James Avery from the Ninja Turtles cartoon. And also maybe a movie one, because you need multiple Shredders in there. It's not just Shredder.
It gave me none of those. It's straight Office Depot on this page when I try to search.
I feel like I tried Shredders on Game Pass, and it was not. It wasn't SSX, and it wasn't. What's his name? Giles. I can't remember what it is. It's Giles something. He's the 1080 guy.
It says it's very positive and overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
It's a good snowboarding game, but something just felt off. It was not. It wasn't Cool Borders, but it wasn't SSX or 1080.
I have no. Was it Snowboard Kids adjacent?
I've never played Snowboard Kids.
That's horrible.
Are they bad? Are they good?
Yeah, they're good. The 64 ones and the DS ones are good.
I didn't even know they came to DS. That makes sense, though. Anyway, play those before March 15th. You've got a week. Bweesh. Download Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Remastered and see if you can complete that before it leaves Game Pass.
It's a good. This is about 40 hours.
I like all the Wario posts where he's like, "Hey, this is leaving Game Pass. If you start now, you might get halfway through."
You might be able.
It's usually Persona, right? It's the Persona games.
Yeah, because Persona ones is every time I play a Persona game on my played list is always 90 or 100 hours. Because I think that Royal was 120 hours, and I think the first Persona was like 98 on my list. So I was like, oh god, it's up there.
All right, that's it for news. We kind of did things backwards. I enjoyed it. Let us know if you like the new format. We'll just go with whatever happens. I know we've had episodes like that where we talk about Warzone first. So
I don't know. Do we ever talk about Warzone anymore?
I haven't played it since I got Helldivers.
Not in a couple weeks.
It's been a minute. Bweesh did say that they're rotating the other maps in there. They're not making you do that Uncharted map, whatever it was we ended up calling it.
That would make me come back more easily is the rotation.
Not being forced into was it buried treasure or something?
If it was a real fucking if it was like a real fucking rotation map, like where we have all fucking 5 maps or whatever, or 6 maps or however they are, then I can actually go through it. And then
he's still saying I'm all alone. we need to throw Bweesh a bone and get some Warzone back in.
Yeah, I'll get some in. That's fine. It's been a minute. I haven't been pissed off in a while. That's fine.
He said me and my Ghostwire spirits. But you could pet cats and dogs in that game, so that's a plus. Then I sent him the what's her name, Nakamura, when that game was announced, like her coming out on the stage and like her dances and stuff and her enthusiasm. Everybody was psyched about that game from then on. And she's got something coming out soon.
I think she just showed that like concept video or whatever that Summer Games thing was. That whole last summer was a blur, man. I just remember it felt like that Shadow of the Dam remaster was like. It feels like they announced it like 4 years ago, but I
It was last
summer.
year.
Yeah, because it's like, man, we haven't heard a fucking thing from it at all. I remember he announced it and showed a little off-screen gameplay of it, didn't actually have a trailer of it. But so like, I don't know how far along the game is. So, but I remember, I think because Grasshopper got bought up by NetEase, right? I think that's who they're under now, if I remember correctly. So
sounds right.
They're not independent anymore. So
We should be getting. It's the beginning of March. We should be gearing up into that summertime news, Keeley's Summerfest, all that stuff's gonna start gearing up.
It's like a fucking major game coming out like every 2 weeks. It's weird. Like you got Dragon's Dogma coming out, Dragon's Dogma 2 coming out soon, and what's the other big game coming out this month? It's that one and something else. I mean, Princess Peach, if you got a Switch.
Final Fantasy was out, 2 weeks ago, last week?
I feel like there's something else coming out.
What
else is big in March?
There's something that's coming out like right there with Dragon's
Is it another
Dogma.
Switch game?
No.
No, I think it's like a next gen console thing. Fuck Switch.
Nintendo,
Oh my
Nintendo's doing
gosh.
their one a month, and I know it's Peach, so.
Why can't I think of it?
I don't.
What?
I don't know. I'm laughing because for the life of me, I don't remember. And it's like it feels like we were just talking about, and like everybody's making a big deal of it coming out, and I'm like,
And it's not Dragon's Dogma?
because I know Unicorn Overlord's this week.
That's a big one. That one got a demo, right? I want to try that one out.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll probably end up talking about it next week. All right, you guys got anything else you want to throw in there?
Fucking bothers me.
I know, we're searching.
It goes Felix the Cat.
Felix
I
the
knew
Cat Collection, of course. The people are clamoring for
I
it.
knew
Felix
it.
the
That
Cat.
I knew it. No, because they're coming out the same day, right? It's
No, it's
Dragon's
Ronin. It's
Rise
of the Ronin,
Rise of the
yeah.
Ronin.
Because I remember they're coming out the same day because somebody was bitching about it on Twitter, like, which one are you going to be like? Dragon's Dogma 2 or Rise of the Ronin?
That will be, that is a big release day.
Yeah.
I still got Dragon's Dogma 1 to try out.
Yeah, Stellar Blaze.
Renee said,
these
Renee's
guys-
asking about Hellblade. When is the new Hellblade? That's coming up too, right?
May.
It's May?
May, right? May.
I still need to beat that first one. All right, I got to go play the first iteration of new games coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.